Hey, welcome back. Simon Lees here again. I've got a guitar video for you. This one's something that my friend Matt Pinfield suggested a couple of weeks ago, that I should do a video talking about how I go about constructing guitar solos. And I thought if I kind of link it to last week's video where I went through the breakdown of I Turn to Stone by Budgie, I made some comments on that video that some of John Thomas's lead guitar work wasn't really to my cup of tea. It wasn't really the sort of thing that I would normally play, and this was emphasised by the fact that I got some real negative comments on a video that somebody had put up on YouTube of me playing the end solo to that song, and I got quite a bit of criticism for that. So what I thought I'd do is, if I can combine these two ideas and show you how I would go about constructing my own guitar solo to this particular song. Now you could argue as like, well, why didn't you do that before? And it's because when you're stepping in someone else's shoes from a band that is well known, sold hundreds of thousands of records, you can't just go about chopping and changing bits that you don't like. You have to just play. You have to keep key elements of the original material, So that's all I was doing there, really. But I spent a little bit of time because I didn't trust my improvisational skills to come up with something massively better on the spot, So I spent a little bit of time today, sort of working something out that I'm gonna talk you through how I did that, what my techniques are. So generally, when I play a guitar solo, even if I am improvising, I'm always conscious of the guitar chords that are in the background, the chords that I'm playing with, and I like to play. Unless I'm absolutely going ballistic and just shredding for the hell of it, I try and give the listener a sense of what the chords would be, even if the chords weren't there, just by what I'm playing on the guitar solo. So I'm gonna sort of take you through. First of all, I'm gonna just play you. I'll play you the original version, or at least my interpretation, which is as close as of the thing, and then I'll play you the one that I've come up with. So let's. I'll start off with the original one. What I've done, I've used the backing track that I made last week, which is basically Stephen Burke playing at one of the gigs we did. I've taken my guitar off and I've taken the vocals off. There's no vocals in the guitar solo anyway, so that's not a thing. But I've put a rhythm guitar on as well, just to sort of make it a bit more obvious what the chords are underneath, and so hopefully you'll make a bit more sense of what I'm playing. So this is the original solo. Okay, yeah, so I hadn't practiced that at all. So yeah, a little bit of a mistake there, but you get the gist. That was the solo. It's a nice solo. To be fair, I hadn't really got a problem with that solo, but never mind. It's still worth seeing if I can put my own thing together that's more pleasing to me, So that was that one. So my version is going to be right. Starts on D. again, that probably wasn't the best I played that either, but you get the idea. It's pretty much a different thing. So I'll talk you through what I'm trying to do there. So the first chord in the solo is D, and if I extended it from a power chord to a full chord, it would be D minor. So I'm going to play something which kind of implies a D minor chord. And it's an arpeggio basically. So what it is. It's just taking the notes from the chord. So D minor. It's got D, A, and F. So D, F, A, D. So that's all I'm doing. And then the second chord is B flat, and it's B flat major. Now B flat major and D minor have got quite a few notes in common, but there's one that I've got to change, and it's the middle one of the three notes. So instead of playing A, I'm playing B flat, because that's the root note of the chord. Makes sense. So going from the D minor to the B flat. The third chord is a C major chord, and when I'm playing over that, so that's C major. It's what is it? C, E, and G. So I'm playing E, C, and then G. So you can play the notes in the different order. They haven't got to be in the same order as the triad. You know, it can be different ways of doing it. The way I've always kind of thought about this, I'm thinking in terms of chord shapes. The first chord shape is not something that I'm that familiar with. That'd be the equivalent of a weird sort of G minor open bar chord shape, if you know what I mean. It's basically there's no such thing as an open G minor chord really, unless you can mute one of the strings. But this is as close as you're going to get. The B flat chord though is a little bit more obvious. So it looks like an E chord. Looks like an open E chord. And then I'm just taking that E chord shape and just moving it up 2 frets, because it's the same sort of movement as if you're going B flat to C, you know. So yeah, so I'm just extending that. Just started again. So by the time I get to that bend, we're back on the D chord again. So that's why I'm hitting I'm bending up to the D note. So the chords change a bit quicker on that bit, but it ends up going back to the B flat again. So the notes that I'm landing on are always tend to be notes within the chord itself. So again, when the chord changes up to C, I'm landing on a G note, because G is the fifth note of the scale of C major. And then again, I'm landing on the D, because that's when the D chord comes back in. So during the D chord, when the chord changes to D, I'm landing on the D note, but then as the chord carries on, I'm just sort of playing some extra notes that fit, you know. And on that example, I think I was using the D minor pentatonic scale. So so when the chord sequence goes round again, because it goes round twice in that middle guitar solo in I Turn to Stone, I didn't want to start on D again, because I finished a section on D, and I could have done, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Any of the three notes from the triad of whatever chord you're playing over is fair game, you know. I sometimes get asked what's the best note to start a guitar solo on, and it's basically whichever one of the three notes that you want to play, and each of the three notes in the chord has got a value. And I always think, if you want it to be emotional, aim for the third. So if I wanted to, it'd be something like, you know, that type of thing. That always kind of tugs at the heartstrings, you know. This solo I decided to start on the actual root note of the chord, so, and that's always, you know, it sounds like a definite beginning. So that's, you know, it's not the most creative, it's not the most artistic sort of sounding note to start on, but it's solid, you know. So that's the other one. So the third's for the emotion. The root note is for this is the start of the journey. We're going somewhere from here. The other one is the fifth. So as the solo is kind of at the midpoint at the minute, I always think if you start a guitar solo on the fifth, it kind of gives you the impression that something's already happened, you know, and you're probably a bit late to the party. So yeah, that makes sense. So for the second half of the solo, I sort of, so I started on the fifth, and then when the chord changed to the B flat, I bent the fifth a little bit more. So it became B flat, which kind of matched the B flat chord. Can't go wrong, can you? This is how I try and do it. You don't have to play like this. There's no rules with guitar solos, you know. It's like you just play whatever the hell you like. But I think if you want people to enjoy it, it makes sense to at least incorporate the main notes from the chords that you're playing too. Otherwise, it just sounds a bit like waffle. And this is where people who think they're experts are actually not. They'll say things like, "He's got no feel," you know, he's just shredding mindlessly, kind of thing. And in a way, they're kind of right, you know. It depends who it is, depends what they're playing. But might do a bit of shredding later. So we'll see. So yeah, so this is like the start of the second half. So I started on the fifth of the D minor chord, bent it up to the B flat, and then when the chord changes to C, that's when I hit the C note. And then it goes back up to the D chord, and that's when I hit the D note. Yeah. There's a section in the chords where it goes. So I'll start that section again because I've lost my place. So what I'm doing here, I'm kind of building up to the grand finale, which is an element I always try and include in a solo. Solos like Highway to Hell, if you listen to the solo on that, I mean, Angus is a brilliant guitarist, one of my heroes, massively influential player, love his stuff. But the solo he does on Highway to Hell, it doesn't go anywhere at all. It just fizzles out. So I mean, elsewhere on my YouTube channel, you'll see versions of me performing Highway to Hell live, and I can't deal with that. So I play the solo pretty much as it is until the end bit, and then I have to spice it up a bit. I have to make it, you know, build into a bit of a climax, and it's nothing spectacular because it's only a dead short solo, but I can't deal with the fact that the record just fizzles out and it just doesn't go anywhere. You know, it's pointless. So that's my thing. So leading up to the end bit, let's just sort of backtrack a bit. So I'm landing on that note. That matches the F chord that's being played. And then goes up to a G chord, and I'm playing the third in the G chord. So all the notes that I'm landing on, all the notes that I'm pausing on, are all kind of from the chord that I'm playing over. So I say the idea is, if you take those chords away, say if you're in a 4-piece band and the rhythm guitarist gets taken ill, you don't need a rhythm guitarist, let's be honest, but as long as you play your lead solos using this kind of technique, obviously the bass player can do his best. He can sort of fill in the missing notes from that would have been in the chords that the rhythm guitarist was playing. But if you construct your solos so that anytime you pause, anytime you land on a note that rings out for any length of time, it's got to be a strong note. It's that note's got to kind of convey what the chords would have been, you know. So that's what I'm doing. So after that, it's a lot of the stuff after these held notes, after these important notes, the strong notes. I'm just putting little phrases in, just trying to sort of make, just to embellish. You know, you can't just go through the whole solo just playing chord tones. You know, it would sound very stiff. So that's all I'm trying to do. It's just filling in the gaps really, and then the bit at the end where it builds up to the climax. I used to be in a band called Plain Jane many years ago. This is like going back about 30 odd years. And when I discovered how to do sweep picking, I kind of did it all the time. And my bandmates were like, oh, he's doing that again. Si, can you think of something else? And I'm like, nope, I'm doing this. And I just love it. When it works, it sounds great. So right at the end of the solo, there's an A chord which kind of starts off quiet and it sort of builds up. It's like, I've got that much distortion. This is my lead sound anyway, so it's never going to be quiet. I'll do my best. And it's just back into the chorus there. So during that build up, I'm doing this sweeping, which is based on an A major chord barred at the 12th fret. When it moves position, I'm just moving it up the neck, so it's, if I take it down 12 frets, you'll see it more obviously. It's like an E shape version of an A chord. Now when I do this, I normally sweep all 6 strings, but I don't know if you notice with this guitar the upper fret access is awful. The only reason I'm using it is because I used it last week. By the way, this is a Dean Cadillac. It's a Korean made guitar. This particular one. It's a limited edition, black and gold. It's got Seymour Duncan distortion pickups in neck and bridge, and it's phenomenal. But it's got 9s on it. The string gauge is, it's like a lighter than I would normally have put on this, because for the last 2 years on my main sort of teaching guitar, the guitar that I just muck about on, I've had 8s, and I've suddenly realised that my fingers have gone weak. So the guitars that I've got with 10s, I'm kind of struggling to play. So this one, the last time I had this set up by Andy Neville, just mention Andy again, hi dude, I asked him to put 9s on it, and I say normally I would have had 10s on this, no problem, and I did for years, no issues at all. But I say since my fingers have gone weak, I've had to go down to 9s. But it's really nice, you know, it plays really well. You just don't press the strings down too hard, you know, otherwise you'll make them out of tune. But yeah, so hopefully, I mean, yeah, that gives you an idea. I'm just going to play that for you again, my version. And you say you just hear it in context and just kind of listen out for the notes that I'm pausing on and how they relate to the chords, because they're either the root, the third, or the fifth of whatever chord I'm playing over at that time. And then the notes that I'm not pausing on, they're just kind of filling in the gaps, really, trying to make it sound like a guitar solo. Yeah, this is brand new. I literally sort of put this together today, so there's bits that I am still kind of not 100% sure about. What I was going to say when I was talking about this guitar not having very good fret access, and I normally do the 6-string sweep on when I move up, but it's just impossible. It's impossible to get it clean. So instead, I changed it to a 3-string sweep and did it twice. So it's got the same number of notes in. So that last note that I played is one of the notes from the A chord itself, you know. So in A, in the A chord, you've got A itself, then you've got E, and then you've got C sharp. So the note that I'm bending at the end is I'm bending up to E, which is the 5th in the A chord. And then when the chorus comes in, I think it's always nice if the solo kind of overlaps when the chorus comes back in. This is where you do kind of need a rhythm guitarist, so you know, maybe they're not they're not dispensable. The first chord of the chorus is F. So I start off bending up to E. Now we'll just see if we get a repeat of what happened when I played this on the headless guitar. So over the A chord and then the F chord. And that's it. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this. And I try and do the same thing with all my solos. I've got a whole playlist elsewhere on my YouTube channel. I was trying to remember to link that to the end of this video, where I make a backing track based loosely on a famous song or a song that I've heard, and once I've created the backing track, I then jam over the top, and it is completely improvised. There's no preconceived sort of things going on there, and some of it works, some of it doesn't, you know, but most of the time you'll hear my method, the way that I go about playing stuff, because obviously I've just created the backing track, so I know what the chords are, and I'm just targeting those specific notes within the chord. So I'll play some runs backwards and forwards, and then I'll sort of pause on a note, and whichever note I pause on, it tends to be as a chord changes to another chord. That's when I'll play the held note, and that held note will be one of the 3 notes from the chord itself, you know. Okay, now I'm going to take a bit of a risk. Life's nothing if you don't take a bit of a risk now and again. So I'm going to play I'm just going to improvise something over the end section. I didn't have time to prepare a repeatable solo for this because it's quite a long solo. So I'll just kind of make something up and see if it works. Well, I'm not promising greatness here, okay? So I have recorded a rhythm guitar, and I'll just kind of go for it. Now the chords do change halfway through. The cycle repeats 3 times, but the chords basically are D, C, F, and G. And what I did, because I have had a little jam with this before, but I can't really remember much about it, apart from when it gets to the G chord, there's a key change, believe it or not, because it's a G major chord, or at least that's what's implied within the song. And if it was a G minor chord, it'd be easy. So all it means is, for most of the solo, when I play a B note, it actually has to be B flat. But when it gets to the G chord, because it's a G major chord, I have to play B. Whether I remember to do that, I'm not sure, but I will try. And if you notice it, that'll be amazing. Okay, let's enough waffle. Let's get on with it. So this is the build-up. And the crowd went mild, as Frank Gambale once said. That's it. I mean, hopefully that's given you an insight, at least, into how I try to go about constructing solos. I don't know if there's any questions that you might have based on what I've said. Hopefully it's been fairly clear, but if not, stick something in the comments, and we can discuss it further. Any suggestions for future videos? I've got to say, a friend of mine called Warren suggested that I had a look at a song called Time to Remember, which was on the same album as I Turn to Stone. But I don't really know that one, and I haven't really got time to learn new songs. So suggestions, stick them in anyway. Don't worry about whether I know it or not, but just be aware, if it's something I'm not familiar with, I might not be able to do it. At least not yet, but write them down anyway, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Like and subscribe, please. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next one's coming out. Spoiler alert, it's going to be next Sunday. And have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. I'll see you soon.